Thank you, Bashar. I'm so happy to be here.
All right, thank you, and good day.
Good day to you. My first question has to do with my life.
Oh, well, that's a good start.
Since I heard about you, I changed my life.
All right.
It's been changing
Thank you.
constantly.
Thank you.
I feel like I've expanded.
You
I've learned
have.
so much,
Yes.
and my highest excitement at the moment is learning
Yes.
and continuing to learn.
Then keep on doing so.
But I feel that your message is pretty
One
much.
moment. Remember, please, if you say, my highest excitement is, and you follow it with a but, you're no longer describing your highest excitement.
Okay.
So just be aware of that as the conversation unfolds.
Okay. I feel that your message is pretty much the same over and over. Follow your highest excitement. And
That's because it's an instruction manual for how reality works. If you are given an instruction manual for how to operate a particular piece of machinery, and you kept going back to the instruction manual and the instructions changed every time, how would you operate that piece of machinery? Of course it's not going to change in principle. What changes is the depth of discussion that happens when people believe they need a deeper understanding, a deeper discussion of the details as to why such things work. But the overall principles are never going to change because what we're describing is the structure of existence itself. We're describing how the machine of existence works. They're not going to change. It's the instruction manual.
I felt all my questions were answered.
That's the point.
And I'm still in the same place. I haven't taken a step further.
I thought you said you were acting on your excitement. Do you
I
understand the entire formula? You act on your highest excitement to the best you're able with zero insistence on what's supposed to happen. So if you're saying, but I'm still in the same place, you're the one coloring what's happening to make it seem so, which means you have a certain expectation of what you think is supposed to happen. So
Right.
that means you're not following the formula.
Right.
Therefore, follow the formula.
And it'll lead me to my next step.
Always.
Got
But
it.
you're assuming what the next step is supposed to look like. And when you don't see what you assume it should look like, you think nothing's happening, which means then you will create an experience of nothing happening. Because that's where you're actually coming from.
Got it.
Does that help?
Yes, very much.
So, you see, even though we may say the instruction manual and all the principles in it over and over again, there is always room for greater understanding, as you've just demonstrated. So thank you.
Yes, yes. Going back to the fear spectrum,
Yes.
can you give us an example of how, when you're in the wariness state and you're already sensing the bad vibes,
Yes.
can you give us an example of how to stop the process there and say, okay, let's say, for instance, I walk into a room and I get a bad vibe from someone.
Yes.
So the best instinct or my best reaction would be to walk away.
That can be one response, or you may find that there might be purpose in experiencing that, and there might be something you can do to assist that person to change their vibration. It can be any number of reasons. You have to make that determination for yourself, but there are many ways to mitigate that and transform it. Walking away might be an answer, but you have to determine that in that moment. You have to take it on a case-by-case basis as to what might be capable of being done in that particular circumstance.
Because if I walk away, I may encounter it somewhere else. Am I correct?
Exactly. If you need to, that would be the first sign and indication and clue that there is some important reason why that's in your life. So that gives you something to look at about your own belief systems, but it also perhaps demonstrates to you that there might be something you can also be of assistance with regard to the people that come into your life that way, if they are doing so. So you have to really examine and explore it. Why is this happening? What can I do here that's a positive thing? Is it just about walking away? Or when I do that, it keeps showing up? That must mean there's a different reason why it keeps showing up. How can I use it differently? How can I think about this differently? How can I define this differently? Is there something else I can be shown that would give me a way of dealing with this in a positive way? Because that's what I would prefer to do. Explore, investigate. That's the point. Stay in that moment. Explore why it's happening.
Got it.
Sometimes you can even go up to the person and say, you know, I just had this odd feeling when I saw you. What's going on with you in your life? Is there something I can help you with? You would be surprised how many times that alone will crack open that vibration and reveal to you some pain or sorrow or going on in their lives that they would be so grateful to have someone help them with that they will bless you for showing up and saying something.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, I usually walk away maybe judging a book by its cover.
There you go. So you see how much more refined an understanding you can have of the instruction manual just by exploring it a little more deeply?
Yes.
There you go. Thank you for your willingness to open the pages of the instruction manual and understand it in a way that works for your heart.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
One last question.
Yes.
I've always been connected to either Egyptian symbolism or the culture.
Yes.
I'm not sure if maybe the rituals, something about it.
Yes.
Is there any way or things I should be exploring, any books I should be reading? I'm not very sure where I
Well, are
could
you
go.
attracted to something in particular?
Just the mystery of their civilization.
All right. Well, have you read the Book of the Dead? Go ahead. See what you discover in the Book of the Dead.
Awesome.
And you might, well, maybe want to make a lunch date to have a discussion with Anubis.
Anubis.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Good day, Bashar.
And a you good day.
It's an honor, truly. Thank you.
For us as well.
So I have a few questions, but I'll just start with one and we'll see.
Good start.
Okay. My adventures this coming winter are taking me to the frozen South Pole,
How exciting.
and I'm a bit nervous.
About what?
Well, particularly driving a boat in the ice with animals and people,
Yes.
and I don't have a lot of experience with that.
Sounds very exciting.
It is.
Do you know that you will learn what you need to learn by doing so? Do you understand that you'll all be in it together as a learning experience? That you've all come together in order to have that experience with each other, for each other, by each other?
I haven't looked at it that way, no.
Can you?
I can, yes.
If it is looked at that way, what changes energetically for you?
I become more relaxed.
There you go. Then that's your first clue that that's the way to look at it.
Okay.
Because when you become more relaxed, you're being more yourself.
Perfect.
And when you're being more yourself, guess what happens? You can handle new situations more easily.
I guess from the outside, seeing other people that I work with, they go into it with that attitude, I've got this, and I'm always a little bit more timid, so...
All right, but if you're surrounding yourself with all sorts of models and examples, they're there for the reason of showing you that you actually contain the ability to mirror that too.
Okay.
Otherwise, you wouldn't be seeing them as models or references.
Perfect.
Yes?
Okay. That helps. I'll go forward with that.
All right.
Can I have another question?
Again, that's a question. So I guess you can.
Okay. So I've noticed throughout my life, I've had certain relationships, intimate relationships that I've been in for what I feel too long. I've seen what I've needed to see, but I haven't moved on.
Yes?
And because of that, I've chosen to develop physical manifestations or symptoms in my body, manifestations of disease. Now, even after I've left the relationship, I still choose to keep them.
Because how do they work for you? What are they doing for you? What are you getting out of them?
Serving as a reminder to not do that again, I suppose.
Do you need those reminders, or can you just remind yourself?
It would be great to just remind myself and no longer have them.
Do you believe that that will be sufficient?
No.
Thank you for your honesty. Why not?
I guess I don't trust myself.
And why don't you trust yourself?
Because I tend to put myself in similar
You mean you
situations.
choose?
I choose.
And why would you choose to do that if they don't work for you? Is that something you would like to continue to do?
No.
Do you believe it's possible that you can actually make a decision to not do that anymore and that that might actually stick?
At some point, yes.
What point would that be? 5 years from now? Does it? No, this is serious. This is the threshold of believability. This is a test for yourself. Do you believe, without hesitation, can you answer yes? Do you believe that in 10 years that would be more than enough time for you to behave differently in this circumstance? Yes or no?
Yes.
10 years is sufficient.
Yes.
You can feel that it is.
Yes.
Is 5 years sufficient?
Yes.
Is 2 years sufficient? Hesitation means no. Therefore, now you can examine, well, what would I have to believe is true about myself that 2 years isn't sufficient? Now you have something to work with. Now you can find the belief. When you find the negative belief that makes it take that long, you can then let it go and you can take the test again. Do I believe 10 years is sufficient? Yes, a breeze. 5 years? Yes, no problem. 2 years? Yes. Now, with my new understanding and letting go of beliefs that don't work for me, 2 years is a snap. 1 year? Yes, no problem. 6 months? Hesitation means no. Keep examining your beliefs that make it take that long, and as soon as you have let go of everything you can imagine letting go of that doesn't work for you, whatever is not relevant, however long is left is the amount of time the process actually needs to take for you to experience the process in the best possible way. That's the threshold of believability test. And you can whittle it down to the point where the remaining time is the necessary process for you to have an appreciation of the change that you're going through in the way that serves you best. So you can diminish it by taking that test over and over again. Examining the definitions that don't work for you and letting them go. Take the test again. See if you hit the mark. See if you reduce the time.
Perfect. Thank you.
Does that work for you?
It does.
That's something you can do on your voyage. Yes?
Yes.
Anything else?
So I've had training as a homeopath as a permission slip for natural healing.
Oh, all right.
And one question that I've always been curious about
Yes.
is, looking on our planet as we've studied more how water has memory and gone into that a bit.
Yes.
And I know fully we don't know everything about all of that.
Yes.
But it's always been interesting to me when you have the higher dilutions or potencies, when things are diluted out past Avogadro's number, when there's nothing physically left,
Yes.
and yet the remedies are much more powerful and work on a higher mental and emotional level.
Because you know why?
I wanted to ask you.
Because your consciousness has taken over as the ingredient.
Wow.
That's what the process is doing. The process of diminishing the physical ingredient past that limit is what allows you the time it takes for you to replace the ingredient with a representational vibration from your consciousness.
So it's still working on the level that light cures like.
Yes.
Okay. Can you maybe explain it in just some other fashion, or just, I guess
It's all about resonance. It's all
Okay.
about frequency.
Okay.
So there are going to be frequencies that allow for expansion. There are going to be frequencies that allow for contraction. Whatever the intention is in terms of the alignment is the frequency that you're putting into it, so that those that then take that permission slip are aligning with that frequency, which represents the healed state. And thus they have to match that frequency in order to heal themselves, because a healer never heals anyone directly.
Is it still on the same level as pushing, as no two similar diseases can exist in the body on the same level? Or is it?
Yes,
slightly-
in a sense.
In a sense. Okay.
They can switch back and forth so rapidly that they seem to, but they don't exist exactly simultaneously in the way that you mean it.
Okay.
Everything exists simultaneously, but in terms of its effect in physical reality, it's a rapid flickering back and forth.
So when you've taken that remedy and you have a realization and it alters something.
You have been willing to accept within your vibration a frequency that represents the variable of your energy equation that represents the healed state. If you choose to match it, because it's within your belief system to use that permission slip to do so, then you heal yourself. You bring yourself back into a balanced state represented by that frequency, completing the overall signature frequency that represents the healed state. Yes?
Perfect. Yeah. Thank you.
You are welcome. Bon voyage.
Thank you.
Hello, Bashar.
And a you good day.
Such a pleasure to talk with you.
And you as well.
How many hybrid children do I have?
At least 5, maybe 7,
Seven.
as we read your energy.
Thank you. And what civilization do I connect the most?
Serious?
Okay. And since when I was 7, 8, 9 years old,
Yes.
I started shaking legs and gliding teeth.
Yes. It's a reaction to the vibrational energy of the encounters you were having. You can smooth that out by understanding that you are part of a larger program and that you have made choices to be of assistance in a variety of ways for the evolution of humanity into the 6th hybrid race. You can open yourself up to more conscious contact if you wish, and if you are not afraid, if you are willing to know that you will not be harmed, then you can begin to experience a smoothing out of the energies in your body.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I've been with my 2 cats for 5 years.
Yes.
One is very smart. She can listen to
They're
me.
all very
yeah,
smart.
very smart, yes. Both of them very unique.
Yes, of
But
course.
the other one is, she was born as a last kid, and
Yes.
she was premature.
Yes.
She had a hard time when she was born first month.
That's all right. Again, there are reflections from the animals about similar things that you may be choosing to go through in your life, and she is helping take some of them on for you, so you don't have to experience them all.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Sometimes animals will take on certain kinds of experiences to help you process things so you don't have to actually have the physical experience yourself. So she's taking on a kind of energy that allows you to experience certain things in a smoother way.
Wow. Wow. So this happened last month. The other cat, that cat, premature cat, was sometimes failed toilet. Like the another cat, like can do toilet on human toilet.
Yes, yes, yes.
But I've been training another cat for 5 years. She sometimes failed. She was very picky.
Yes.
She's never using human toilet like other cat.
Well, she doesn't have to, does she?
No. But since another cat was showing me she can do it, so I was expecting if I putting her on the
All right.
toilet, she...
Well, you have made the attempt, and you are being shown that that's not necessarily the way that cat needs to be treated.
Right. Then last month, 5 years, I was doing the same thing, and then last month, I was practicing accepting myself and then showing her, like I was starting accepting them as themselves.
Yes.
And
then what happened?
Then she was walking to the toilet, and then
Yes.
she was
Because you finally got the message.
right. So I was crying, and then thank you so much for the everything. Like
Yes, yes.
they are like my gifts.
Anytime you meet resistance, there is something there you need to look at. And when you finally look at it, the resistance melts away. Insistence is resistance. So anytime you insist something must be a certain way, there's resistance there. And as soon as you stop insisting, the resistance goes away. That was the lesson the cat helped you learn.
Right. Thank you.
They are very smart.
Very smart. Thank you.
Thank you.